everyone, welcome back to our Yellow Cow Chat session. We meet here every Friday to talk about different issues happening in the workplace, life, and everything in between. In today's episode, we have here with us Miss April Ernest. She is a young entrepreneur. She links very well with our topic of discussion today, which is well, I'm going to reveal it in a while, but she's been an entrepreneur for quite some time and was able to start up her side businesses and side hustle from a very young age, and at some point while also managing to keep her day job. So linking up to our topic today, which is tips for starting a successful side hustle or side business, Miss April will share with us her journey and story of how she was able to build these side businesses and carry them through and growing to the point that she has grown to today. So karibu sana, feel free to share your comments, your questions on the comment section, and let's get on with the discussion. Karibu. So Miss April, karibu sana. This is Yellow Couch.
Hi Nasi, thank you so much for having me on Yellow Couch. Thank you actually for having me again. With Empower, it's starting to feel like a family here. I keep meeting different members and opportunities as well that are extended to me. So it's awesome. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's really good to have you. Would you please tell our viewers a little bit about yourself and how this topic connects with you in the deeper levels?
It's a really deeper level.
Yes.
So I am a lawyer.
Yes.
I am an advocate. I have almost about 7 years pre and post qualification experience.
Okay.
I really deal in corporate matters, dab a little in labor matters, immigration, and the likes. And I have, in my journey, I have worn all the hats, you would say, growing up. It's more or less something that has been inside of me, basically growing up.
Yeah.
I've always just been creative and excited of exploring different fields, exploring different environments, meeting new people, and just seeing how I could fit in there and make something different and better from what they already have stationed. So I think that's how it kind of started and how this connects to the topic.
Yeah. So can you give us a little background on your experience and your journey? Because from my brief intro of you, when I even invited you over for this session, you were like, "Oh, I have this business. I have done this. I've done that." So can you take us through your journey and your thought process of coming up with the idea of starting your own side business apart from your main job? And how was it? How did you manage? And where did you get the inspiration from? And what kept you pushing to keep going with the side business while keeping it in mind that you have a main job?
So as I said, everybody's different.
Yeah.
I would start by that. And you might look at one person's story and assume different things. But for me, it's just energy. I have energy. So why deal with one while I can deal with many? And to be honest, nobody knows what they're really doing here. Nobody really has it figured out.
Yeah.
So as long as you still have these voices in you, that you hear something that tells you, that pushes you to do something, stay present and just do it. I mean, I call it a grown-up activity. That's how I take it. So my inspiration basically is my mom. I grew up in a single mother's home. I am coming from a family of like 5 kids, and I was the last one. So my dad passed when I was young. So seeing my mom like take on that hat and raising 5 children on her own and not once, give up and manage to raise all of us and push us through school, put us through school. So that's the biggest thing that drives me every day.
Yeah.
So now, because I am now grown up, I want to give back, and it's just in me.
Yeah.
But in the giving back, it's not only just, focused on one thing. I can be able to do it and enable so many people, or impact so many, lives. And that's an element that sometimes it fills up for where I would be missing in my legal practice.
Yeah.
Legal practice, sometimes you just be on the table, restricted to giving information as far as what the law requires, or as far as, what your opinion is, or the structure of your business. But then if you're a passionate person, or you've been through these experiences yourself, having a side hustle, or, actually being open and to that world, you have so much more content to give and share, and want to do so much more. So that's how it actually
What was it like starting your first side hustle when you were still employed? And how were you able, because I know for a fact that not every employer would welcome the idea of having employed someone with divided attention, because clearly half of your brain is thinking of how you're going to approach your next customer, and the other half is, you're meeting your KPIs and objectives in, at your employer's place.
I would say if you know who you are, if you're aware and you know where your journey can take you, these players, these stakeholders complement that journey. So I knew that, and that was the target. And basically, I didn't start when these side businesses when I hired. I had moments where I had nothing. I just came from school. I just finished university, and the first idea I had for a side hustle, and that was before. So I started working like part-time jobs since I was in Form 2. So I had that work ethic since then. Worked for magazines, Bang Magazine I worked for, marketing agency. So I had that background. I knew how to find for myself. I knew how to create a seat. I knew how to create, something out of nothing in that moment. So I just, drove with that. And when I finished university, everybody, all of us, were looking for work. You hear so many things in terms of law firms. There's also requirements that maybe you feel you can't fulfill. So, I'm standing there, cash flow, and I'm young, and I'm like, what if I had nothing right now, if there's no email response saying I'm not going to be hired right now? What can I do? What can I do with my hands? What can I do with my brain? What did I take from school that I can change into?
But was your employer at any point ever, like a barricade or someone that tried to stop you or discourage you from, or is it something that you inform your employer when you have the idea of it?
I normally do that to inform my employer that I am, I wear many hats. I contribute to the community in very different ways, and that I do respect their business and their work. So therefore, to the scope of my engagement and my work for you, I will diligently do that, because I am aware of what I need to achieve. And seeing that you have the opportunity to have an employer, that means that now becomes a source to feed into your side business. So you also need to respect that place of work. So I knew that. I started when I was in school with an association that I turned into a social enterprise that brings back young lawyers. Out of nowhere, I created a conference and things like that, because I volunteered. And volunteering, I met people, networked. So every time I came out with an idea or an event, I would easily put that together, because one, I delivered, two, they knew me, and three, they understood my passion because I presented it to them in that way. So be it in the smallest thing, to a small conference event, or to making oils and candles with my mom, at a different point, that's all something that comes in my head every day. And it's I, after my working close of business, other people would have other things that
would keep them
be their outlets. But because I built this in myself at such a young age, that my entire day mostly is connected to just people or things that progress me, either in my work or in my outlets.
So what would you tell someone who is at this moment thinking of probably, because starting a side business could come from different motivations or point of inspiration, probably wanting to be financially stable or earn more, or probably explore a hobby or passion that they have on the side. So what would you tell someone who is maybe probably on a crossroad thinking, I'm employed, I have a job, how will I manage the two? what if my employer doesn't love or welcome the idea? What if they find out and they find me to be unsuitable because of my probably undivided attention? So what would you tell someone like this?
I'll respond in a few ways, but one thing, an employer is one way to help you achieve your dreams, whether in-house or going out of the world. It depends on you. If you want to grow in the firm or branch out eventually. Sometimes people have this figured out, sometimes they don't. But I would say all of these side projects that I've started, they never started with, I was broke, but then I had time. So I created things that most of the time, because I didn't have any money, I mostly created, I learned how to design. I learned how to create logos. I learned how to create banners. I put together, I have a brother who's a designer and architect, he's a graphic designer. So I put these people, family people, their members there by my side to help me whenever I needed their help to boost me into something, a project. And I'm grateful that they would be supported. But most of my projects never start with me saying this is for money. Mostly, for many people that would know me, they would say that I'm mostly helping, and most of the time I don't really even charge.
Okay.
It's more
so
of
you would say
for my passion.
So you would say rather it's more of making the time and understanding that you're doing that for yourself and
put in the time, because you need to respect the fact that if some people will be given the amount by their relatives, some people will need to work for it. So if you know that you're working for it, but you have a business sense at the end of the day, respect that job and do your best at that job. As a matter of fact, if you can have the opportunity to grow at that job, keep going. But at the same time, spare time. After your day job, after every responsibility that requires of you by your employer.
And how?
Put in the time.
Absolutely. I totally second that thought. But how were you able to find the balance now? For you, I would say it was a bit smooth sailing because you started from a very young age and you had that spirit and the know-how of how to manage a business from before you got employed formally. So
it's not always that
how do you find
I might be sounding like this, but it's not a smooth road. Every entrepreneur, every person that is creating understands those nights, those days where they're uncertain, those days where things are slow, those days where they don't even believe in whatever it is that's going on. They're like, why am I even doing this? But one, as I said, I am a very ambitious person. I am very ambitious. And sometimes I am over ambitious for my, over my own self, my future and the things that I have planned for. So I put in the time. I would put in the time, meaning even late hours. I wouldn't sleep. I would do, because I also, I am active. I am a health enthusiast, so I try my best to put in foods or things that help keep me active and awake, or able to do it, because at the same time I cannot tell my employer that I was tired because
I was busy doing this. There, because for you, like you say, you were very ambitious and driven woman, so you would go all out for your project, but also still keeping your integrity, maintaining the integrity you have for your work. So how does someone now who is probably now starting, they're a newbie in starting these side hustles, and it's a thought and idea that they now want to venture out into, so what are the techniques of finding the balance between your side hustle and your time and attention at work?
One, figure it out. Figure if you actually want this. Don't be pressured because you're hearing April speak or so many other people are speaking in your group. Figure out if you want this. Figure out who you are. Also, take the Myers-Briggs test. Understand if you're an extrovert or an introvert, in what sense you go, It will help you a lot in the people you meet and also structuring your future. If you know you're an introvert, there'll be ways to have those extroverts speak out for you. So everything connects, and it starts with you. So figure out if you want this. Research. That means don't go in. Research. You need people. You will not go and start a business because you Googled that. You will need a lawyer. But speak to your crowd. Every group and every age group has its own community of people. Our parents have their friends and their contractor friends. So learn to build that in your age group, the people you can rely on for service,
for support
and
as well.
Grow with them. It's gonna be hard.
Yeah.
It's gonna be hard. You'll be frustrated. It'll probably take years, 10 years, even more.
Yeah.
But you must first figure it out, research. Speak to somebody about it. Take some time off and then back on again and see the trend. It's so many ways, but at the same time, love what you're doing. And take your time, because this is a forever thing. And managing a business, I can tell you from a lawyer's point of view, compliance matter, it's a lot. So you need to be aware of that. You need to have understanding of how you build yourself to putting these people together, because these service providers also need money. You won't have that then. So don't give up. But start. I always say, if you're an entrepreneur and you have big dreams, and these dreams probably require either technology or something that's different that you can't do. Even in the things that I'm doing, sometimes you gotta take a detour to get to that. And I always say, for the youth, especially the middle class, is the one that drives the any country.
Yes, they can.
Because they have some sort of stability around that class, and they're the spenders. And to survive, you need to spread your baskets, tiny baskets, not big baskets. Don't invest highly. Spread them small to have different tiny sources to continue that growth. So start small. And look your way there. So starting small meaning, who do I know that can do whatever? What can I do with my hands? What can I do with my brain? I left a place and I started writing proposals. And that became something, that I never did, but it became fun. I was like, wow, I can actually write big proposals. So it's things like that.
So just, all right, so in a nutshell, you would say, just do your research and take the time. Don't just jump, head in, and you never know what you're getting yourself into and what you're putting at risk or from your employer's side. So it could be very demanding, which takes me to the next question, that having a side business or a side hustle is very demanding in terms of resources and the energy and everything it needs for it to stand on its own and support you. So apart from the not the negative, but from the demand that it takes and it puts on you, what are the benefits? And for someone who's thinking of starting a side business and they're wondering, is this going to be helpful to me, apart from, giving you extra cash, in your pocket? But is there any impact on this person's career to start with, because this person is still employed? And also just generally in this person's life, what did you experience that was an impact and you feel like this is a major difference that has happened to me because of the side businesses that I've had?
I had a mentor at the old law firm who used to talk a lot. He's a good friend of mine. And he used to say, the best thing is buy your time. Your freedom is your time. And being your own entrepreneur, your own boss, gives you time. It buys you time to continue to meet, to grow your craft. I'm speaking as a lawyer. I've helped a number of entities set up. And none of them have come back to me crying, oh my God, I need to close down, I'm dying. So if I could be able to set up so many businesses, why can't I run my own? Because I've helped them, guided them. They came to me when they were starting. As they had it as an idea. And they are still going on. Year 1, year 2, I'm filing their returns, their renewals. They're still going. So why can't I? So venturing into something that builds your individuality, create something greater in you when you bring it back to a team. So that, buying your freedom, your individuality, it creates so much difference.
Something that's unique of your own, something original.
Yes, and every single firm, every single person, even apart from the ones that are funded, every single person started small and now they're hiring 100. So if you have that in you, do it. But it's not for everybody. Some people are built to be a part of the team that builds it in them. So figure out who you are. And be the best version of yourself, because there's an audience for everyone. just remember that there will always be an audience for everyone. There'll be an audience for you in your success. There'll be an audience for you in your failure. There'll be an audience for you in everything. So put up a good show and actually be the best version of you.
Because it's in the end, it is for you.
Nobody knows what they're here to do. So figure yourself out. And we're only living through similar patterns. So don't be too scared of someone's experience or fear or lack of commitment or, doing that thing to stop you from your path. Each person's path is different.
And I think just to add on to what you've just said, to that having a side business builds up your individuality, like you said, but also gives you the freedom, buys you the time, in her words. Just to highlight to you that some of the biggest world businesses today, like Apple and Instagram, HubSpot, they started as side hustles.
They started as side hustles.
They started as side hustles, and these founders looked for the time and looked after each other and the time, and were willing to go for it, put their passion,
even put the pressure
ambition
on them, because
exactly.
Now I have a side hustle and it works, and I'm like, I need to make it work.
Let me
bring more people who have time in their own businesses also to put the work with me. So respect your employer, because he also teaches you a lot to either help you come out or to be your better self in the firm.
In the firm, also in your business.
In your business. So always at the end of the day, it comes back to you. You build, you create, you draw your own stories.
Absolutely. This has been lovely, April. Any final words to someone who's looking, like tips now, maybe do 1, 2, 3, these would really help you, that helped you in your journey?
What I would say is the world has slowed down. You all know this. Everything has gone digital. So now you have a new canvas to do anything. And I repeat again, you will always have an audience. So do your craft. There is an audience for you. You're all on YouTube. You see people just sticking their hands in their fingers. You're gonna have million viewers. They have audience.
They have an audience.
So
and they're earning. FYI.
They're earning. There's 7-8 billion of us. One thing, we're in our community. We were built, not with that high confidence of being our own people. So we think after school we have to be hired to get that status. It's not a bad thing. That's safety. But at the same time, if you can, be out there and you can be among these Steve Jobs we talk about. But you can be amongst these other guys that help Steve Jobs do. It is still a win-win on the table.
Absolutely.
On top of that, keep searching, keep figuring yourself out, because the more you keep figuring yourself out, something good is going to come out.
Like you said, you're not going to do this you're not doing it as a trend just because April has started a side hustle. So you want to do it because it's a thing now. You need to be original. It's going to fail. So
you just have to remain humble, remain disciplined, create a network. And as I repeat again, our community is not really on the working together. We want to come up individually. We want to show out and tell our friends on social media, I did this, I'm doing this, now I'm growing. But at the same time, that weight of the pressure and the deadlines and the smooth flow of that work or the service could have been saved if you worked together. But at the same time, you need to also research, do your due diligence on the friends you work with, on the people you work with. You have to have the same vision, the same goal, and the same drive. If they don't have it, try to build it in them if they have that potential. But always move forward, because it's your story, not theirs. So do not be stalled by them.
Absolutely.
You keep hearing those voices, keep following those voices.
Following.
That's it.
You never know. You could be the next Steve Jobs with the biggest multi-billion-dollar company in Tanzania. So believe in yourself, be ambitious, be disciplined, be humble, do your research, and
put in the time. I mean,
respect
if you're bored,
your employer, I would say.
Respect your employer.
I think this should be bolded.
Because that's the one source. We could be talking about different, but here's the consistent source of helping you either
finding your business
or go out.
Absolutely.
So respect him and grow with them, because you know what, even if when you're gonna go out, you're gonna be companions, you're gonna be colleagues.
Never know, could be your investor.
And they're gonna be things, because they're also individuals just as yourself.
Absolutely.
And I learned one thing, and it sinks in. The richer get richer, not by we all have 24 hours. You can use it to spend, watch anime, whatever. But the richer get richer because they be like, I have this 500,000. I can spend it today. Okay, cool. I'll spend it today. I reserved the right. I deserve that. But then another time I get that 500,000, you know what? I'm gonna call Nancy. Nancy, what you got going on? Okay, you know what? I'm gonna put this 500,000 in you. I'm gonna grow that. Now that 500,000 is there in principle, and I have more.
Absolutely.
And I keep having more and keep having more. So keep investing, keep collaborating, keep growing. That's how richer get richer. They don't tell you about that. You keep hearing about it.
Yeah.
But if you practice it, that's when you can understand, like, I can use this.
Yeah.
And that lasagna smells so good.
But
I can put it in and wait a couple of months, and I can have 10 lasagnas and still
have my
money.
own restaurant,
and still have my own money, So
making me lasagnas.
Think like a Chaga. Yeah. I'm Chaga representing Kilimanjaro.
Thank you so much, April. This has been wonderful. Thank you. It was a great wonderful discussion. I'm sure for someone who is watching this and is thinking of starting a side hustle, a side business, I hope we've given you some sort of courage and confidence, to make that first move. So be open. Don't think that it's just going to be you, yourself, and you.
Pray.
Yep. That's also very, very important. And the beauty of the world we live in today, you can work from anywhere, from home. It's a digital world, so you don't have to be in the streets selling candies or, walking door by door. Just do it digitally. That's how we live today.
Learn it.
Absolutely. Learn the digital skills. Excuse me. So thank you so much for watching this session. It has been awesome. It has been great. I believe you've had a lot to learn, and I'm sure you have your own thoughts. You probably have your own side hustle. Please share with us your views. Visit our page on our website called The Movement and share with us. Write articles, write tips that have helped you build your side hustle, and share it with the community of people that want to learn and grow and be successful just as you. So please visit our website www.empower.co.tz and join the movement to share your ideas and how you've been able to pull this through. And also visit our social media pages. We've done so many yellow couches on different topics with different people, and I'm sure you'll have a lot to learn as well. Until next time, April and I are signing out. Remember, be positive, do your thing, be original, and that side hustle will kick off.
Yeah.
Bye-bye. Thank you.